The Hindu philosophers or Vedantic philosophers do not believe in the absolute creation of the world out of nothing at a particular point of time. They speak of the manifestation of the universe. We don't believe that the step by step creation, because then a lot of questions cannot be answered. Vedanta believes in manifestation. The whole world is not created. It is manifested. It is sudden manifestation. Vedanta speaks of the manifestation of the universe called the beginning of a cycle and of its non-manifestations, which is the termination of the cycle. During the state of manifestation, sometimes poetically described in the Vedas as the breathing out of the Purusha. Purusha means the cosmic person. Names and forms evolve during the state of non-manifestation or breathing in of the cosmic person. The names and forms go back into the seed, like yoga philosophy. Not yoga philosophy, yoga. If you go to a yoga teacher, he or she will tell, now breathe in, breathe out. So in Veda, poetically it is written that how that whole world is when that cosmic personality, breathe out all the names and forms in the universe manifests. And when that cosmic Purusha breathe in, everything comes into the bija form or seed form. Mm. At the beginning of each cycle, when names and forms become visible, all the beings of the previous cycle who had not attained moksha or liberation come into existence once again with their desires and latent tendencies. So, who has got attained liberation or moksha, they will never come. But who are having at least a bit of desire, vasana, each and every person with vasana has to come in this world, in this universe, after the cycle, in new cycle. How they will come? Who will accompany them? Their own desires and tendencies, vasana, mm, everything, samskar, everything will come. The Vedas teach the indestructibility of matter and the conservation of energy. Individual souls attain perfection, but the material forms in which they dwell remain. Now we will talk about cosmology. Cosmology. The Vedantic cosmology indicates the keen power of observation of the early Indo-Aryans. Their discussion of the subject may appear crude as far as details are concerned from the standpoint of the modern physical science, yet in principle, it is not in conflict with rational thinking. The cosmology of modern science undergoes important changes every now and then that we know. Any interpretation of the relative universe is liable to change, for it depends upon the viewpoint or mode of observation of the interpreter. Thus, solid atoms give place to indefinable electrons. The Ptolemaic interpretation of the universe is modified by the Copernican interpretation, and the Newtonian physics by Einstein's theory of relativity. According to Vedanta, all these interpretations are true. All these interpretations are true, but from their particular standpoints. From their particular standpoints. But in connection with Vedantic cosmology, it should always be borne in mind that its purpose is not to explain the universe and its origin, but to establish through it the ultimate reality of Brahman. That is why in many Upanishads, when we discuss about cosmology, it differs. In Taittiriya Upanishad, there is five elements, five basic elements. In Chandogya Upanishad, we found there are three basic elements. It doesn't matter because creation is not the main objective of Veda or Vedanta. It deals with Brahman, the ultimate reality, the absolute. Apart from Brahman, the universe is important whether from the standpoint of reality or from the standpoint of value. It is found to be non-existent in the deepest spiritual experience. Its value is transitory. But the reality of Brahman, which exists independent of creation, is self-evident and is revealed in the innermost experience of man. To realize Brahman is infinitely more important to Vedantic philosophers than to analyze the nature of the universe. The interpretation or description of the phenomenal world must not be in conflict with the reality of Brahman. The knowledge of the world must lead to knowledge of Brahman. Otherwise, it is without significance. In the language of Sri Ramakrishna, ताके जानार नाम ज्ञान बाकी सब अज्ञान ताके जानार नाम ज्ञान बाकी सब अज्ञान. The real purpose of Vedantic cosmology is to help the student realize Brahman, and not just to explain the universe of names and forms. Moksha or liberation or peace is attained through the knowledge of Brahman, not through the knowledge of the universe. And how that for anything else, suppose if I show you a pot, any pot or any cup, if I show you any cup or any pot, and if I tell that it has come out automatically, will you believe in the air like a magic it has come? Will you believe that this cup has come automatically in the air? Never. For making of the cup, the material is needed. And the material is not well enough in previous days, in earlier days. We need an instrument. Where is a wheel? And in the hub there is clay. And from that clay, it comes out. Is it automatically coming out? No. A pot maker is needed. So for the pot, some material is needed. That is called material cause of the thing. And a pot maker is needed, who is the efficient cause of the thing or pot. Who will be the efficient cause? Me? I can make a chapati even in a round shape. How should I make a pot? I don't have that knowledge. So to make a very nice pot, the pot maker should have distinct, perfect knowledge of pot. Otherwise, he can't make. So, material cause, instrumental cause, the instrument through which that pot has come, and the efficient cause or intelligent cause. So, mainly we call two, material cause and efficient cause. Because this whole universe has not come out of nothing. Out of nothing, nothing can come. From zero, only zero comes out. There is some material, and the material is not enough. We need a maker, intelligent maker. Bhagavan Vyasadeva, the author of Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra, describes Brahman as the cause of creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. Because the existence can be inferred through these actions. But as neither action nor attribute can be truly associated with Brahman or the Absolute, the Vedantists speak of the Saguna Brahman as the cause of the universe. In every religious faith or system, the God we get, they are Saguna Brahma, Saguna with attributes. Maybe in other religious faith, the God has no form. They are the religions of peace. That is why if anyone tries to make the face of their God, they never hesitate to butcher the head of that person because it is the religion of the peace. Form with form or formless doesn't matter. They work or not. Their God work. Their God deals with the dead bodies. You know, on the day of Qiyamah, the last day, they give a shower to the dead body with the turmeric, soap and everything else and decorate it because their God will come into the graveyard and will do judgment with that rotten body. Body is everything. The person of that religious faith, if he is a soldier, and with the heavy fire of the cannon, if the body gets bursted in several pieces, when not a single piece is found out, which part of this body will be judgmented? What will happen with the other parts? Because they deal with the body. They think we go to the heaven with this body only. Logical fallacies, lack of developed thinking. Lack of developed thinking. So the thing is, no creation is possible without Maya. Brahman, through association with Maya, as stated, as we taught earlier in the class of ignorance. If you go to the YouTube channel, Beauty of Vedanta, you please find out the class ignorance. We have discussed it nicely. How the Brahman appears to be endowed with such activities as creation, preservation, and dissolution, and with such attributes as omniscience, omnipresence, and lordship, and becomes known as the Saguna Brahman. Pure consciousness, actually, Nirguna Brahman, in reality, one and the same substance. Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman, in substance, they are one. Brahman uses Maya as the material of creation, that is to say, it creates the universe and its various objects out of Maya. Therefore, from the standpoint of Maya, Brahman is the material cause of the universe, but as pure consciousness, it is the efficient cause. Thus, Brahman itself is both the material and the efficient cause of the universe. It is the ultimate cause. Vedantist teachers explain the causal relationship by the illustration of the spider and the cobweb. Yatha urnanavi sriyate grihyate cha. In Mundaka Upanishad. When the spider wants to weave a web, it uses the silk which belongs to the spider alone and without which it cannot weave. Therefore, the spider as a conscious entity is the efficient cause of the web, and from the standpoint of the silk, the material cause. No outside material is needed in the creation of the universe. When sometimes Maya is described as the cause of the universe, the term cause is used to denote the material of creation. Also, it must be understood that Maya has no existence independent of Brahman. When at other times Brahman or pure consciousness is described as the cause, the term really means the substratum or unrelated ground of the universe. No causal relationship in the usual sense of the term can exist between pure Brahman or the absolute and the universe of names and forms. Unlike Samkhya philosophy, the Samkhya philosophers describe the universe as the modification of Prakriti or nature. According to them, the cause manifests itself as the effect. The cause manifests itself as the effect. The effect before it is produced exists as the cause. According to another school of philosophers, which includes the dualists and the theists, the universe did not exist before it was created. The effect is non-existent before it is produced. But Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, on the other hand, points out the utter impossibility of the finite mind's ever understanding the nature of the universe in terms of the causal relationship. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji speaks of the universe as Maya, because as every thoughtful man knows, even while perceiving it with his senses, its nature is impermanence. When Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji calls the universe Maya, he is only stating a fact, namely the fact that the one appears inexplicably as many. When a snake is beheld in place of a rope, the phenomenon may be described as Maya. This, however, does not imply any explanation of how or why or when the rope should thus appear. It states only a tangible fact. In the same sense, a mirage is Maya. Dream objects are Maya. The creation is Maya. So the Samkhyan philosophers of the dualists, the non-dualists, do not explain the universe through the causal relationship. They hold that Brahman, while creating, preserving, or destroying the universe, does not undergo any change. It remains as pure being or Sat. All changes seen in the sense-perceived world are Maya. The creation is a mere appearance, that is to say, Brahman appears through Maya as the universe with all its living and non-living beings, from the lifeless atom to Ishvara, the exalted cosmic soul. It has already been stated that three gunas are already been taught over here. that three gunas, namely sattva, rajas and tamas, constitute prakriti or nature, and that when there is an equilibrium of the gunas, the universe remains in a state of non-manifestation or dissolution. When that equilibrium is disturbed on account of the preponderance of the guna or another, there takes place the creation or projection of the material universe. Hari Om Tat Sat.